welcome back to the Art Archaeologist channel. I'm Corey. So I've been doing all those eco dyes, and every time I do a kit I end up with leftover dye like this in my little cups. And this is what I've been doing with the dye. So I sprayed these pages with denim blue, these blue ones, and coffee, and I just squirted dye on it with a pipette. Just a little pipette. I'm going to show you what I did in a minute. But this paper is this composition book, and you can get these all over in America. I'm not sure about other countries. You might have to go online, but it's called Composition Book. And you open this up and just go to the middle and snip out all the threads, and you end up with these really awesome big pages. I learned this from a gal in one of my Facebook groups, and it's been a couple months and I cannot find the gal's name, so darn it. I'd love to give her credit, but I'm definitely not going to take credit. So this is someone else's idea, but I love this idea. So I just want to show you these papers real quick. And you can grab your composition papers, and these would be really fabulous coffee stained. And the great thing about these, you know, if you just wanted coffee stain, that would be beautiful. They're so big. These are such big journal pages. That's what's so wonderful about these. I think they came out really super neat, and I'll show you how I do it, but I squirt them all, real simple, and then I just left them all in this little tub I have to dry. And I just walked away from these for a few days. Every now and then I'd walk by them and kind of like take a little stack and flip them and then leave that for a day or whatever. But I don't know how long it took. I let it go. I let these go for like 5 days. But yeah, if you can just be patient and let them all. I didn't dry them in the oven because I don't have big enough pans to do that. So, you know, I love to get stuff like this going, and you don't really, patience isn't really an issue because you get it going and then you get 10 other things going if you're anything like me. And then you end up having these great papers. You're like, oh, they're done and ready to use. I just think they're fabulous. I'll probably put some of these in my Etsy shop as a paper kit. In fact, I think I will for sure do that. The only problem is they're not going to be this big. So that, you know, when you go to print them, they'll be smaller, of course. Now these I did with Rit brown dye and black. Yeah. Yep, black dye. These I think came out so cool. I love these. I want to scan these and make other art out of these in Photoshop and use this as a background for some, and then add art on top of it. I just think these are so great. All that grungy goodness. You get all the little dots in there and you get this weird stuff happening. And it's all just from squirting it and walking away. These are some of my favorite papers, and they are some of the simplest. So you gotta love that when you can find some beautiful art that you can create and it's not a total pain in the rear to make happen. Probably hit these with an iron. They're very creased up. Some of them are real bad, some of them not so much. They definitely look like they could use an ironing though. I really like the black marks. The brown sheets that are brown without it, they're still beautiful and I like them. But the ones with the black, you get all these little spatter marks and bubble marks. Oh, that, I really like that look. Oh yeah, I did some drippy just to mess around. So you can get a lot of different little looks. I bet if you put some die cut stuff, like I have a video at my coffee staining tutorial. I put a bunch of I coffee stain with die cuts and you get that imprint. I don't know if it would, if they would come out with this though, because I'm not drying these with heat. So, maybe worth a shot. You'd have some really cool stained die cuts at the very least. Now I don't know how this yellow color happened. I don't remember what I was up to with these. I want to say I put coffee in it, and maybe coffee, nope, I put orange dye. This is orange dye. It actually diluted down a little. Coffee comes out a little yellowish on these. They did with the, well, kinda. See that there? I guess it's pretty brown. This sheet looks a little yellowish, and that is coffee right there. I hope the camera's picking that up. But this is orange dye, and it just dissipated and did its thing. That orange dye I used, I'm going to rinse these too. It did not dissolve all that great, but I got a great paper kit out of it, and I got these out of this, so I'm not complaining. There's a lot of texture. I'm sure some of this graininess will rinse off, but I think a lot of it's just going to stay put. Oh, these black ones. They're my fave, can you tell? So here's a way to get a lot of paper, and you can just throw some dyes together. Kool-Aid would work on these. Ink would work on these. You could water down some ink. Watercolors. Oh my goodness. I might have to do a book with watercolors. It's quite the stack. It's fun flipping through it with you though, because I haven't done this yet, so this is my first time seeing all these too. Wow. And just think, you can do this any colors you can imagine you can do this with. And what's neat about a lot of the colors is you do 2 or 3 and they start to blend together, and then you end up getting a bunch more color along with the ones that you chose. So I find that happens with quite a bit of stuff that I do. Okay, so there's all those. Oh, I got this tub at the Dollar Tree, and then here's the papers inside, and these colors, I did a kit of I did an eco dye kit just a little while ago of Pearl Gray and Petal Pink. So I have a little bit of this dye left over from the eco dye. And I don't want to throw out my dye, so that's how this all got born. And then here's this Rit lemon yellow dye. And I have that much left over of that. And these colors might just muddy together. I may get really lousy results from this color combo. But let's take a peek. Yeah, they're really wet right now, so you can't really tell until they dry what you've got. But I'll squirt it down, put some droplets of water on here, and then just grab some dye, and I just dance it over the page. Really quick and simple. And this pan is kind of messed up because I can't lay them totally flat, but just get in there and create some drips. Remember your edges. Very easy. I think I might end up with some weird green shades because this yellow and black, I noticed a few pages back that it was making this greenish color, which is totally fine with me. So I'll just do that page yellow and gray, and I'm not spraying this paper with any alum or vinegar or anything. I'm just staining them, and I get what I get. You get what you get. Most of what I do is quite involved, and it gets tedious when, 80% of everything you do is so involved and tedious. It's nice to just have a little quickie craft that you can do. Let's see, and we'll just do this side pink only. Another paper. And let's do some gray and pink. At least the water spreads the dye, so you get a little bit more coverage, but it also dilutes the dye. But I really like the color on everything I just showed you. I think those pages have great color. And you can also, once you do all these, once you get them kind of dry, they don't even have to be totally dry, but you could throw on some coffee. You could just take some really concentrated, mixed up instant coffee water and maybe take a brush and just hit the areas that you want to hit. So, sky's the limit with this too, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and probably just let it go there. You get it. And I'll let these dry and be back to show you this batch. so these pages are, I am in love with these pages, and I've seen these done with Kool-Aid too, or Kool-Aid and food coloring. I haven't tried either of those things just because I work with dye. So when I have leftover dye, I hate to throw it out, and what a cool way to use your leftover dye if you use dye like I do. And if you don't, I suggest you start, because it is the best therapy in the world that money can buy, and it's cheaper than a therapist. Another thing that I find so funny is I cannot stand, it's like jumping off a cliff, artistically speaking, to lose my originals. And, you know, when you do your art, make sure that you protect your originals. And if you want to sell your originals, make sure you price them to reflect that it's an original. I tried it. I use my originals now, but the only reason I'm okay with it is because I copy them, I duplicate the art, I scan these. Sometimes my art's too big, I have to photograph it, but record your stuff, because I mean, this is your work, you know what I mean? And it's valuable. It's highly valuable. It's valuable monetarily, but it's highly valuable spiritually. So anyway, I guess that's all I'm going to say about that. I wanted to get that out, though. It is important, you know? So here's this sheet, and then I've been thinking, what am I going to do with these? I really like this side. I just grabbed a few to show you. Oh, I just love the bubbles and the subtleness. Dye is so fun to work with. Pretty cool. And I lay the papers in there, and then I dye them and spray them with water like you saw, and then I just keep stacking them up, and then I walk away for weeks, and eventually they dry. I'm in Colorado, so I'm in a dry climate, but yeah, this is something you can do and walk away from, and then when you come back, you have a treasure trove of background papers. Here's all the ones I got out of this batch. I got a ton of papers, and they're cool. So thank you so much for stopping by today. And if you enjoyed this video, you know, I do all these for free, and I'm trying to grow my channel, and I'm working really hard at it. So click the subscribe button for more fun videos so that you can expand your artistic abilities. And I will see you next time. Have a great day.